That's better.
Wait.
Don't even get him started on the
Da-da. Da-da, 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 So I'm out with Periphery, right, the other day, and these guys are doing...
You want dirt?
You gotta pick. Can I have some distortion?
Yep.
And they're going... Okay, so here's the key. And they're playing this note and this note together against this.
Get back there on the drums. You gotta, but it's syncopated, so it's got to match the bass drum.
So
or something.
this note against this.
Yeah. It's like a. Did he just have? What the hell was that?
That's what I said. What the hell was that? You put this on YouTube, didn't you? So it was extraordinary because it sounded
Tight. It's tight.
It sounded from the depths of Hades with joy. And I called it Music from Hell with Joy. And he goes, "This is Mark." And he goes, "That's right.
It's like a Bob Ross kind of thing.
That's right. That's right." And it was like, and it was, I couldn't talk. They had done something brand new in music, and they were playing. Any note was legal. Any feel was legal. Any new staccato thing was legal. Any legato thing was legal. I mean, they had just expanded the whole palette.
Yeah. And there's three guitar players too.
And they were getting away with it like great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tight.
And I'm like,
Oh, don't tune it back up to E.
they're going, huh?
That wound G, man.
It does make a difference. You know, when you tune lower, it stays in tune. You get the wound G. I don't like the way it feels, but it does stay in tune better when you're low down like that.
The tunings that you played, you use a wound G though?
No. I mean, we would do drop B in Chimera for a few songs, and on that guitar, because B is a weird tuning, I would put a wound string on the G.
I went down, and they were looking at me like, huh? And I went, you ever hear this? Nobody plays that right. He played it with his fingers.
Did he? Sounds like it.
You can't play that with a pick. It don't sound right.
Yeah,
Then I'm
that's
going.
right.
And you're going, huh? Huh? So what's that? We know that. That's Burn. They got that right.
Yeah.
All these other tunes, huh?
You do like some back cattle. You do like some, what would you call it, deep cuts in the Southern rock department.
I'm sorry,
like
if you
Cactus.
didn't play that crap, you didn't play in my town. I'm sorry? They don't know what the hell that shit was. I'm telling you. They didn't grow up doing that. They grew up on Pantera.
Yeah,
They grew
I
up
did say
on a
that.
whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And the truth is, this is where it started, and this is where it's going.
It always comes back to that stuff.
No, it'll never go back. It ain't going back. When the wah-wah happens and... Ah, shit, I hate this string. It's wound.
Yeah.
They don't know that. How about? Oh my God, when a band plays that, people start coming unglued if they do it right.
Yeah, it's gotta be loud.
Yeah, but nobody plays some of these tunes because it just sounds awful. If you do this bad,
Yeah.
we never played that tune because nobody could play it right.
Yeah.
Nobody played this tune. Nobody played it right. Look. Stretching one string against the other. Nobody knew how to play it until he got interviewed.
Damn.
Until he got interviewed, we thought it was some sort of tape machine or flanger thing. He did it with his fingers. He's bending a D, and then some notes he's hitting the G.
That's rad. You know the hard Hendrix lick?
Sure.
That's the hardest lick.
It's easy. Try this one.
The bends.
No kidding.
The more you know.
He had so much stuff going on.
Who, Page?
Hendrix.
Hendrix?
Hendrix.
He did have some stuff going on.
He had some stuff going on. That's the scale of Machine Gun.
Sixths.
The first chord is. So he's going, which is the thing out of what's it called? Voodoo Child. He's
What's
playing-
the beginning of Foxy Lady? Do you remember which? There it is. Ninth, was it?
You got to turn the amp way up.
Where's the?
I'm sorry.
You good? You
look,
good?
it's not-
No, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. Let's see here. I've got one of these. Let me know how to work it. Here we go. All right, you ready? You hear that over there?
Wrong guitar.
Yeah, it's a hollow body.
A hollow body.
Yeah,
What he's
yeah.
doing.
I played that one wrong too. I really thought it was like do do ba da da do ba.
No, it's.
Ba, do, ba.
Oh my God, what a good guitar player.
Yeah, he ruled.
Holy crap.
You can usually measure somebody's character by if they like Hendrix or not. It's like if somebody has soul, they're gonna be like, I love Hendrix. Usually soulless people are like, I don't like Hendrix, I don't get it. It's like, well,
My wife has an
Yeah.
immense soul. She don't like Hendrix. You can
Really?
shut up.
Really? She doesn't like Hendrix?
You can shut up. She's just
Maybe there's a middle ground of like his vocals aren't any good.
When we recorded Freedom and we recorded Machine Gun, she came in and sang on the backup vocals.
Oh, there you
she
go.
loved that. She thought that was cool.
So do a whole record of Hendrix tunes so she'll like Hendrix's catalog.
That would be an idea, yeah. I'm sorry.
Santana.
Oh no, Santana's different. He's treble pickup. Everybody thinks it's bass pickup. He's treble pickup.
Damn. That sounds like it.
Everybody thinks it's bass pickup. It's not. It's treble pickup.
I thought it was bass pickup. That's crazy.
Yeah. And by the way, everybody thinks Slash is treble pickup. That's bass pickup.
Oh, I knew that though. He got that tone.
Well, if you played through one of those amps, you would have to play all the rhythm guitar through the treble pickup and all the bass pickup through all the solos through the bass pickup. You would have no choice. A Jubilee, the high end tear your head off. If you don't play, if you don't use a bass pickup on the solo, he's dead. He had no choice.
Yeah. It's
He grew up in L.A.
It's easier to play on the neck pickup too when there's all that gain. It's
Yeah,
but he's a badass though. He's a badass.
I'm sorry, I saw him
Slash
play
is
with Paul
badass.
Rodgers, and I was backed up. I went, oh my God, he's got a big piece of rock and roll in him. It was a sweetheart when I met him, an absolute sweetheart.
I don't, that's another guy nobody can really say anything. You can't bash Slash. It's the, come on, you know.
Yeah, 'cause I think Carlos is a bass pickup, it's a treble pickup. He's just a bad boy. He's just all flavors of bad. Smooth as a treble pickup.
You guys ever seen Santana play? Could you hear the next day? If you like, I mean, I love the loud. If you like loud, dude, go see Santana play. It's loud. It's like loud and great and round sounding. And he plays a neck or a treble pickup.
Yeah, sorry.
That's crazy.
Well, I spent a long time trying to figure out this. It's in his hands. That's the way he plays.
Yeah.
And I would go, then I would go, and he'd go. I put the needle back on a record player. Go, what? What? How did he do? I mean, literally, you could hear it. It's in your hands. It's not in the amp.
Yeah.
And I was like, I spent years trying to figure out how Richie Blackmore. How's it go?
Years and years.
But I'm not playing it right, but it doesn't really matter. I can tell you that these guys, it was in their hands. And they would play it clean, and they would play it dirty, and they would play it this way. I mean, Hendrix played Machine Gun dirty, clean. It didn't really matter. He played it on Dave Cavett, crystal clean. And
It doesn't matter. Guys like that.
It was in their hands. And you spend time trying to figure out how ZZ Top or any of these things got those tones. Those were in their hands. I thought it was always really cool.
It's like when you're young. Well, when it's metal now, everybody wants it to be perfect, but I think it's cooler when it's, it's when it's rock and roll, right? Kind of rough around the edges. Yeah. Like, wasn't listening to Appetite for Destruction?
Yeah,
It's odd. There's not really one time.
You know how to play it?
I don't. I never learned any Guns N' Roses. I mean, I could figure it out, of course, but I never did. But the thing about it though is, if you notice, the only time the guitars are playing the same thing is usually on the chorus. Like the verse, it's just two guitars doing, like one guy just soloing to the verse. Like it's really cool stuff, right?
I mean, we spent years playing those tunes.
Yeah.
Just years and years and years and years.
Play some Cactus?
Yeah, I just did. I'm evil! I was playing Cactus earlier.
Do you know, you talked to Jim McCarty lately?
No, but I know a lot of his tunes.
You remember Experience PRS with him?
Uh-huh. He
That was
looked
great.
at me like he was going to kill me in the middle of Evil. He looked at me like he was going to kill me. I started laughing. I thought it was a joke.
And he wanted to
And I realized it wasn't a joke. I went, oh, that's really funny. Oh, God, he really does want me to die. We got to play Parchment Farm. We got to play Evil, and we got to play Long Tall Sally.
I saw them rehearse, or this is the first thing I saw was him rehearse.
How does Long Tall Sally go? I can't remember.
He's on a Hendrix record.
Long Tall Sally, I'm talking about the Cactus tune.
I'm talking about McCarty being on the Hendrix record.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he's on the Hendrix record.
Which one?
I can't remember, but he's on there. You guys got Wikipedia?
I played on it too, but I can't remember which tune I played on either.
No, he really is on. I think he's on the Hendrix record. That sounds good.
What tune is
I
that?
have no idea.
Rock the Nation. Rock the Nation.
Montrose?
I'm sorry, that's what we grew. When that came out and I was in college, everybody put the needle and go, ah! Ah! What the hell was that? Rock the nation! You play.
You see that? Look at the little pick guy there.
I'm sorry to go off on this tirade, but these kids aren't doing this stuff anymore. They've completely changed the whole game. And the place was full of people asking about what tunings were they using, what strings were they using, what this is going, what's going on. When we did a thing with Opeth, we had Warren Haynes, the guy from Aerosmith was there, the guy from Doobie Brothers. It was like 40 people in a row. You were in that press conference, I think. And the only questions for the entire press conference was Opeth over and over and over again. Nobody wanted to know a word, except all the artists gave the guy in the Doobie Brothers like a standing ovation for writing all those hits.
Deservingly so. Deservingly so.
Yeah, deserving.
How many do you think he's got under his belt?
I don't know. You know, listen to the music, all those tunes. They started to list all his #1 hits.
They kept going on and on and on and on and on.
I'm sorry, Warren Haynes was standing there, and we're talking about,
Warren Haynes.
Warren Haynes, and Warren keeps looking down and going, oh shit. Oh shit. I mean, it's hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. Man, Tom Johnston's a very good musician because he's a great songwriter.
Yeah. Songs. Can't have a good guitar solo without a good song. Hotel California. You think about it. What if the song sucked and it was just that solo? That would suck. All that anticipation. Anticipation would be gone. They might as well have began the song with that solo if there was no good song before the solo.
When I first heard Stairway to Heaven, I skipped the entire beginning and went to the solo.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did that.
It was a guitar player move. I did the same thing.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I did it's a guitar player move. Yeah.
You didn't film all that, did you?
No.
Yeah, you did. What a tirade. All right, so thanks for all the questions. We're done. Thank you.
We're getting out of here. All right.
You want to hear a little out in the late 10 years?
I saw him play.
Oh, man.
Tell me, I saw him play in Germany before he died, and he did exactly the same set as he did at Woodstock. Exactly the same notes. I'm going home. See my baby. I mean, exactly the same thing. He hadn't matured one day. It had been the same thing the whole time. And at Woodstock, he was a god. He had played faster and better and cleaner than anybody else. He played exactly the same thing. Other people had matured immensely. I mean, every time you saw Adrian Belew play with King Crimson, he was just getting better and better and better. I'm sorry, Paul Rodgers is singing as well as he ever has. I mean, some of these guys just getting better and better and better and better.
Well, I guess
better.
it's kind of like being an actor or an actress. You know how sometimes they say that like this is the movie that hurt my career because basically they're in such a huge movie. It's like where do you go from there besides just kind of repeating that or going backwards?
Yeah, but
so I kind of
some actors don't care. They just keep getting better.
That's true. That is true.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's true. It is true.
Did you see De Niro and Al Pacino go at it at Breakfast in Heat? Did you guys ever?
Awesome.
Unbelievable. You took the two best actors having a discussion about whether or not they're going to jail or not at breakfast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
I mean, the only time I ever saw somebody absolutely peak was Kevin Bacon at the end of Murder in the First telling Gary Oldman that he won. Did you ever see that? I beat you. Oh my God. With Gary Oldman standing there, go put him back in jail, you know. It happens. I mean, people sometimes they peak and sometimes they just keep getting better and with Alvin Lee, he had been the same the whole time. And I mean, he did it perfectly. But you go see the Allman Brothers in some of their heights and they were playing it better than they played it, you know, in the early days. It depended on who was in the band.
It's also crazy how young, when you, in retrospect, you think about it, you're like, that dude was only how old? 24 when he died?
Who talking about Dwayne Allman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like in his, you know, so, and then you find out when he started playing.
Yeah.
And you go, holy crap.
Okay.
If that's not proof that like some higher power put that guy on this planet to do
All
that
right.
one thing, I mean, that's the proof right there.
All right, so I'm going to tell you all a story you don't know. I got my hands on the amp that he used at the Fillmore East for the recording of the record. It said the Allman Brothers on the back, Allman Brothers Band, Macon, Georgia on the back. Hang on a minute. I got the amp from Howard Lease. A guy named Ed Seelig sent me the amp, and we took it apart, and that's where the HXDA came from. Derek Trucks owns that amp now. In the case with the amp were the receipts for Dwayne Allman buying his guitars from Ed Seelig, and attached to the receipts were the Greyhound bus tickets that he had bought the guitar to get it to him. So they didn't have UPS, they didn't have Federal Express. They bought it a Greyhound bus ticket and put it underneath, and it got delivered to the Macon, Georgia depot. In his Les Pauls all came to him, and that's how they transmitted guitars around on Greyhound buses, and that's how it came. And I was holding the receipts. I'm like, oh my God, nobody knows. Okay, there's a lot of stories I've been told that nobody knows. I'll give you another one. Turns out all of Spinal Tap was from the Ted Nugent band.
What?
Nigel Tufnell was Ted Nugent. David St. Hubbins is Derek St. Holmes. That's right. The band that couldn't find the stage was the Ted Nugent band in the Agora Ballroom. And these guys were writing this stuff down as they're following the band around. The thing with the peanuts and the wrong colors and the food, that's all Steven Tyler. They were on tour with him. All that stuff all happened.
So it's a conglomeration of
those bands. That's correct. So I'm in Germany. And the guy walks up to this English roadie. He goes, Derek St. Holmes. He goes, David St. Hubbins. I mean, I'll put Derek on the phone right now. He'll tell you the whole story.
Like,
I mean,
real.
That was the Ted Nugent. Nigel Tufnell is Ted Nugent spelled backwards, basically.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay, so here's another one. Richie Blackmore just got interviewed for where did Smoke on the Water come from? He says, well, it's Beethoven's Fifth backwards. Da 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 da. Oh,
it's almost like I love to know that, but I kind of wish I didn't know that. Like,
you know what ZZ Top stands for?
What?
Zigzag and Top Rolling.
No, I did know that.
Oh no, all these bands' name came from real things.
Oh, like Steely Dan?
You don't want to know about. You don't want. Go look it up. 10 cc's. Go look it up.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Love spoonfuls.
Yeah.
Oh, I got in his face about that. I said, you got away with murder. And you know what he said to me? He says, yeah, I did. It was The Loving Spoonful on Camera Sutra Records. John Sebastian, I was right in his face. I said, John, you got away with murder. He goes, I did. He says, that's not where it came from. And then he told me the real story where it came from. It was an old blues tune where they were talking about the loving spoonful. It's a long story. These bands' name came, her record, Cheap Thrills, Janis Joplin's record, 3 shows, was Sex, Drugs, and Cheap Thrills. And they made them take the sex and drugs part off. These bands' names came from real things.
Yeah. Do you embrace it? What's that?
Do I embrace it? I think it was,
yeah.
It was so irreverent. It was so irreverent. It was like, to society, Yeah. I'm sorry, it's the same thing Lady Gaga did when she wore the meat dress. It was so irreverent.
Yeah.
And then, look, you can say whatever you want about this woman, but when she went at it with Elton John, and he ran those rehearsals at the Grammys with an iron fist for 3 days, with the two of them going at it with the grand pianos, where they're all covered in dirt. When she finally got on the stage, she went at it and tore him up. Here's another example of something that was really cool. When James Brown died, they gave the nod to a woman and let Christina Aguilera come up out of the floor singing "It's a Man's World," and she tore it to shreds.
Have you guys seen her play with Herbie Hancock? There's like a jazz record that Herbie Hancock, but it's got like John Mayer singing a different vocalist every song. Aguilera she did it live, and she can't deny her. Like, teen star and all this, yes, but no, there's a set of pipes in that lady that's just like, oh my God.
So I had the guitar that she used as a dress on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Is it the purple one you're on?
No, the
crazy.
No,
weird,
it was a blue one.
The blue one. Oh,
and I got it bad. Yeah. I sent it back to her after she sang "It's a Man's World" and said, you need to have this. I thought, and I never got a thank you, but it doesn't really matter. I sent it back to her because I just thought that was extraordinary.
Yeah.
And she may have peaked at that moment. We don't know. We'll have to look as time goes on. But some of these things are just irreverent. Some of the rock and roll is irreverent. I think one of the greatest moments in rock and roll, in my experience, was watching Steven Tyler sing on the Super Bowl. Because if you watch the film, at the end, he puts his arm around Joe Perry's neck and says into his ear, my ear monitors were off. I couldn't hear. He did the whole thing in tune, in time, in a stadium.
What year was this?
8 years ago, 7 years ago, without monitors.
Holy.
I'm sorry, that's professional.
Yeah, well, that's muscle memory at its finest. You gotta be that's a badass.
Real pro, okay? I'm sorry. I thought when Prince played at the Super Bowl and he tore it to shreds.
That's like the only time it's ever, how Super Bowl shows are kind of, Dude, I remember that Prince performance. Yeah, Prince got up there and was just like, just shat all over everybody, just like.
He came out honored his race by the way he dressed.
Yeah.
And then he started to play these tunes down and then pieces of it. It was all live. Nothing was on tape. And my God, he tore it down.
Yeah.
The other thing of all weird things, when Sting played on the Super Bowl with the woman from Gwen Stefani, I thought he tore it down. I think that kind of divides bands, right? Are they going to do it live? They're going to do it with tape? They're going to do it this way? They're going to do it that way? Carlos Santana came out the other night. He says, and by the way, we're not playing to tape, and we're not playing to files. This is what we're playing for you.
Yeah.
The crowd roared. They roared. They knew exactly. They weren't playing the files. It was extraordinary.
Yeah, people are kind of, I think, even I'm kind of surprised, is that teach a lot of like rock camps and things like that. So you get a really good ground level idea of what kids are kind of cool with, and what you always assume, they're not going to like this. They won't understand. Like the rock and roll thing, you would assume. They're not going to like that very much. They're probably into like whatever, electronic music or whatever,
Depends on the performance.
But it turns out that like, you think that way. You're a band, you're kind of jaded, but then you talk to the kids and you find out, no, they like the rock and roll thing is they totally dig it. They really do. They dig it.
I've seen some extraordinary things in my day, so let me give you a few examples. When John McLaughlin got off the stage with Paco de Lucia and Al Di Meola one night, he was sitting there in front of me this far, and he had a guitar with a prototype. In 1985, I was trying to sell guitar. I was starting my company, and he played that white guitar in the original brochure, and I couldn't breathe. John McLaughlin was not good. He was like scary, frightening.
Yeah, that was that. You think that was his peak?
No,
You
God,
think?
no. He's still playing really,
He's
really
still
well.
crazy good.
He's really crazy good. No, but I'm telling you, a couple of times John has played and you can't breathe when you're in front of him, okay?
Yeah.
I saw Eddie Van Halen at his peak play. Whoa.
Yeah, that's what I wish I could have seen, was that, just that. The year's debatable, but there's that one. When did you see him? When did you see him?
I saw him doing
man.
all that, everything.
You got to remember, too, when you...
Right
when you-
around Jump.
When you go to... That's one of my favorite eras.
I saw it, yeah, but that band, literally, you would walk in to the concert hall as a roadie, and the road crew would go, oh, we got a really good guitar player in the band. Even the road crew couldn't shut up about it.
Wow.
They were something. I mean, the crowd roared so loud that David Lee Roth stood in front of the crowd and just stood there with his jaw open for about a minute and a half. It was louder than the PA was possible to have, and all they were doing was screaming one note in appreciation. I mean, there have been some extraordinary moments. I saw Return to Forever get a standing ovation for each of the musicians for about a minute and a half each, and they hadn't played a note.
Damn.
They were opening up for Santana. And,
Oh, wow.
And Stanley Clarke was standing in front of the crowd, and he was like this. And the place, I mean, at the time, there was no cell phone, so it was all lighters, right? And the whole place is lit up like a Christmas tree. Everybody's got their feet on the floor. The whole building's shaking. We've got 20,000 people going nuts. And then he bowed, and it doubled in volume.
Damn.
I've seen some things, just like, huh?
You got to remember, too, if you go to, like, when you go to a NAMM show, or you go meet people that have been around, or, like, you know, have kind of been at the beginning of something or the forefront of something, all these... Everybody's saying, like, they say Van Halen's awesome for a reason. So a lot of like younger kids are like, I don't have Van. I'm like, no, you have to understand, like, it was serious back then. Like, you go to that show, and it was the volume. It was loud and awesome.
No, the mix was perfect.
It was
wasn't loud at
perfect.
all.
Yeah, like I just saw them. They came to London, Ontario, and they played at they played in a field, right, the fairgrounds, and it was cool because I didn't get a chance to go.
Is that God or what?
Yeah, answer it.
It's Derek St. Holmes. Hi, Derek. Are you okay?
Said his name 3 times.
I'm at a clinic talking about you. Everybody say, hi, Derek.
Hi, Derek.
He's cracking up. Listen.
I gotta ask you something. We get done doing your clinic.
Hey, Derek, you're on speakerphone, so you be really careful, okay?
Okay, so listen to me. I'm at the Guitar Center at Nashville.
We don't want to hear about Guitar Centers. I'm not Guitar Center. So let me just ask you one question. I'll call you right back. Let me ask you one question on speakerphone, and I'll call you right back. Hold on a minute. Are you David St. Hubbins or not?
I am David St. Hubbins.
No! Yes!
There it is.
Was Ted Nugent Nigel Tufnell?
I don't know where are you? Where are you?
I'm at More Music in Indiana, and we're doing a clinic, and you've been the subject of the clinic.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
No, why are you apologizing?
I just wanted to call my best friend. He never calls me.
Oh!
In trouble.
Oh, man, I just got dumped in front of a whole room. Listen, I love you to death. As soon as I'm done talking, I'll call you back, okay? All right, bye-bye. All right, bye-bye. I'll call you back. Some phone calls at clinics are mistakes.
Oh, dude, no. Van
And we're
Halen-
talking about the guy that sang Stranglehold. We're talking about the guy
Yeah,
that sang...
that's the Stranglehold guy.
By the way.
He can still sing. He still sings very much like that too. You know?
All right, so I'll tell you another true story. There's all phones turned off, all cameras turned off, okay? Turn it off. You ready? You ready? Turn it off. Turn it off. I'll tell you. Give me the guitar. And give me the distortion. I'm going to tell a true story.
You want distortion?
Yeah. So, true story.